how is the meat distributed?
Oh, on that particular occasion, they just went off in taxis and took it to home locations. I don't know. I've never been able to follow the path from the airport to the dispersal place. And I don't know whether all of it's sold. A lot of it is given away to family and friends, but I also do know there is a trade. I also know it was sold in the Innisfail Hotel. It was offered there at $25 a kilo to someone I personally know, and I also know that I reported that to the department, and within 10 minutes they rang back and put me on speakerphone and said they couldn't get the vision. I know that there's government stupidity, but I also think there's government cover-up in this. I think it's fully out there in the open. I'll tell you how I know it's happening and it's illegal, and the government are worried about it by what I've been doing over the last 2.5 years. Tony Burke just announced a $130,000 grant to Professor Helene Marsh and another researcher to find out whether there's a turtle and dugong trade.
Now, you mentioned prices before. Are people making money off this trade?
Yes, and if you see recently in the Cairns press, there was a report of somebody making $80,000 in the last year selling this meat. When you can sell an animal you've got unlimited access to, it's like going to a butcher shop and having the back door open and able to sell it at any price you like to wherever you like.
Now, there's accusations that surfaced in local press when you went up with two colleagues to film the footage in November last year. There were accusations of entrapment, that hunters had been paid to kill animals at your behest. What do you say to that?
Oh, well, that's complete and utter garbage. My chap did go over to the local store and ask if they sold turtle and dugong meat to see if it was openly for sale. The answer was no. That is a total lie. There was an email that surfaced and went right round Australia, sent out by one of Tony Burke's main people, and I have a copy of that, where they refer to my good friend Bob Irwin as a mongrel, and they also slurred the good name of the person who we did hire the boat to take my friend up there to the Torres Straits. They disparaged his good name. He had no part in this operation other than being the person we hired the boat from at expense. There was no freebies involved, and that was a total lie.
Now, Federal MP Warren Inch spoke in Parliament of the export of turtle meat to PNG. Do you have any evidence this has occurred?
I have no visual evidence that it occurred, but I've got plenty of eyewitnesses that have seen it for sale. I know quite well that what I do and what I said has attracted threats. I've had many threats, and this has to stop.
Are people nervous about talking about an illegal trade of turtle and dugong meat?
They're extremely reluctant to talk about it. For one, that they'll face the same threats I've faced. But also, you get the tag straight away, you're a racist because you dare to talk about an illegal trade that the government turned a blind eye to. The federal government and the state government here in Queensland turned a blind eye to the trade. I know the way they've treated me with contempt because I've continually tried to bring it to their attention, and yet they continually try to thwart me.
Going back to your footage, which was shot in November 2011, would you say those pictures lift the lid on something?
It lifts the lid on everything I've been trying to tell everyone for 2.5 years. It proves beyond doubt that is how an animal is killed in Queensland. It also shows that those people need education on dispatching an animal because they have no idea how to humanely dispatch an animal. I killed them for 7 years. I know how to dispatch an animal. That is not the way to dispatch an animal in 2012 in Australia.
Now, will it change the way Australians think about this practice of Indigenous hunting?
I think it'll shock people into a world they've never been in before. I think most of Australians aren't even aware this happens. I think they're going to be fully aware after seeing the footage that you're going to hear, and I applaud you for that. What happens to an animal is abhorrent, and I think that'll open their eyes and they'll start looking closer to home rather than looking offshore for an animal to go and save. A lot of political correctness at play here, and I think that people need to take their political hats off and look at the animal's rights. It's like Bob Irwin said once before, what are we going to have? Native title rights or extinction? It's your choice.
How far will you go with this issue? Will you ever give up?
I'll never give up. Never give up. I'll follow this right through to the end, whatever the end may be. But this is something that no big group in Australia or around the world is fighting. I started the fight. I'm going to continue the fight. People who pay money to all those groups should be asking them why they're hearing about it from the ABC and me. Why don't they know this happens on their own shores? Why do they go chasing animals all around the world to save? Why all those groups they pay a lot of money to? Some people devote their homes, send their whole estates to those places, and yet they don't hear anything about animals getting cut up alive here in Australia. Ask yourselves why not.
Many people will be horrified by these images. Is this a problem that's bigger than animal cruelty?
I don't think it's a problem bigger than animal cruelty. I think it's something that needs to be addressed with a unequalisation of rights in Australia. If we want true conciliation, everyone should be covered by the same laws. Then it doesn't cause any conflict. I don't feel any different to you, you don't feel any different to me. We're covered by the same laws. If I commit an act in Australia, I should be covered by a law, as is anybody else in Australia. This is Australia, this isn't two separate countries.
Just one final question. Are Indigenous people the best custodians of vulnerable animals, such as turtle species in general?
I'll admit that Australians, white Australians, have wiped out more species of native animals than anyone else in the world. I think we've wiped out 50. We've got the gold medal. But I don't think with this species, because they're the only ones that are able to hunt it, they are the best custodians. If they were the best custodians of these animals now, we wouldn't be seeing them taken in their numbers have been taken out, and we wouldn't see them being silent on the trade. You've seen many, many, many pieces of footage of people saying they know there's rogue elements. I don't believe it's just a rogue element doing it, because I worry about the legitimate hunter that takes more than he should when we don't know how many's out there. So I think that Australians are going to be shell-shocked when they see this footage. And I think that all their children should watch that footage and see what happens in Australia.
Parents around Australia are going to thank you for many, many sleepless nights. Colin Riddell.
Thank you very much.